Hey guys, so I just wanted to put some of this data in. This is from an online training session that was conducted by a company called Emma, which is like MailChimp. They manage email communications programs for companies, and this was granted a couple of years ago. This shows, I would say, segmenting more kind of by transaction. More like the RFM segmenting, which is kind of transaction based. But just I wanted to make you aware of some of these data. First of all, if you're segmenting your mailing list, you get way more productive emailings. Okay, ding, ding, ding. Okay. Second, if you are sending people, and this is related to the first one, content that is not relevant to them, not targeted for them, you're going to get unsubscribes back. That's the average unsubscribe rate for email programs annually. And here's the transaction one, which is basically triggered emails have a far higher conversion rate, sales rate, than match and blast, which is even segmenting. So triggered emails based on I buy something, I get a thank you email and an offer on a second purchase on a related item, for instance. And another targeted or triggered email would be, I think we talked about this, but I've done it in other classes a few times, so sometimes I forget. But when I was working for this little company representing Choice Hotels, trying to sell their reservation confirmation emails, people could take ads at the bottom of the emails the Choice Hotels sent out to everyone who booked direct with them. We thought we were going to get they had a great open rate, 90%. That's the first point. And of course, so you book a hotel room, you could open up the email you get right afterwards, right? Who wouldn't? But again, this is just an example of transaction-based emails get open more, and if it has related material being offered or sold, it also gets a higher conversion rate or a sales rate. Of course, with 800 flowers, the ad was too far down in the email. It didn't get looked at, number one, and number two, it was not really a related offer. And this is very important email. Now here I want to cast your mind back to, remember our friend Joe Girard, originally Joe Girardi before he changed his name and took the vowel off the end of it. This was the guy who lived in Detroit and was the most successful car salesman in the whole country for years and years. Sold more individually as one person than many dealerships would sell, and won the top award in sales from General Motors many times. And you'll remember that we did talk about him for a while because he was doing the things without computers and without a real database. He was doing it all pre-digital. But you remember how first thing he would do after somebody bought a car from him was he would call them a week or so later and just say, hey, how's it going? And if there was a problem, it got taken care of right away while they waited. Welcome email after first purchase. So this is where we're putting it all together with these targeted communications. So we're using data mining to create the segments, and we're developing unique creative messages for each segment. In our case, we're using a Tabasco. We're understanding our target in some detail. We're figuring out the rest of the Tabasco: benefit, support, character, offer. Yeah, I'm expecting you to do that for your segments on your database project. And once I have a strategy, I can develop the creative messages. I don't just do it, willy-nilly. I have to have a plan. I have to know what I'm building. And that's the Tabasco. And I'm using demographics, psychographics, technographics, which is like what I'm using, phone, whatever, and transaction history to make the segments. I'm developing separate messages, targeting different groups with different objectives. And I have different media channels to reach my segments and here they are here. Now, most of these are for prospecting other than email, social media is for current customers as well as prospects, but social media and email are definitely for current customers. The rest are for target customers. So all this kind of mixes together and becomes a process for segmenting and developing targeted communications. And by the way, and then testing, right? Every time I send something, testing alternatives, finding something better, expanding that, testing against that, and that's my circle of database marketing. This is a good video. I'm going to cut now, and we're going to watch this video about, we're just about done, about a charity and how they do segmenting and targeting to help them raise funds.